I think that there's two narratives out there. I think, or really there's one narrative. That narrative is that Terrence Crawford can do more things in the ring. He's got more tools in his toolbox. And even though Errol Spence is a basic boxer, he's the most fundamentally sound boxer in the world. I do agree with that, but Errol's got more in his arsenal as well. And I think that we've never been able to see him pull out everything that he's had to use. Terrence has been in the ring with guys who have done different things, and he's had to present other things go into his toolbox. But I do think that from an X's and O standpoint, it's all a matter of what are you going to do this round, because they both have the ability to make adjustments, and they both have the ability to be aggressive. They both have the ability to fight off of the back foot, counterpunch. I mean, even from again the X's and O standpoint, this is an outstanding fight because they both have A+ in every box, and it's just yeah. I honestly think that we're going to see probably 3 different strategies from both of them throughout the course of a 12-round fight, maybe even 4 or 5.
There it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that Shawn Porter mentioned that Errol Spence Jr., you know what I'm saying, has more tools in his bag. He has more skills, you know. For some reason, a lot of boxing fans, they either miss or they ignore Errol Spence Jr.'s skill set, he's not just a kung fu fighter. He calculates and he controls his distance, right? I mean, he uses controlled aggression, and Errol Spence Jr. just simply use a simplistic style. You know what I'm saying? Using basic, boxing fundamentals to beat his opponents. And a lot of fans don't like that. They don't like that style because it's not flashy. We haven't even gotten to the man, the way he uses and throws his hooks and footwork and defense, all behind, just a basic boxing technique, like, because if you put all his Olympic experience, and his athletic ability and gifts, together, then, you got a dangerous fighter who's not just a basic fighter, right? And we haven't even touched on his, will and determination. But Shawn Porter knows all that. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even like the tone of the passive aggressive behavior that Shawn Porter like really demonstrated in this his analysis of Errol Spence Jr. and his skill set, because even though he admitted that Errol, has A+, he checks the boxes and he can do everything. It's that he threw a shot in there by saying, some pull back, punch that he hit EJ with that somehow Errol Spence Jr. wasn't smart enough to catch on to it. He was frustrated. And Kell Brook kind of alluded to how frustrated Errol Spence Jr. was in the fight too. But Kell Brook was jumping on his neck, man. How many breaks did Kell Brook get in that fight so he could recover? Right? You remember when they were putting the tape on the gloves and they took their time because it looked like Kell Brook was on his way out. He looked like he was on his way out, right? And Shawn Porter, he can't help but be salty because he got beat, at his own game. See, Errol Spence Jr., he chose violence, right? Behind a basic, fundamental boxing technique, right? For all the flash that Bud Crawford has, in the ring, switching up, real uppercut, the fast reflexes and whipping those shots, Yeah, that looks good on the outside, but that's against lesser opponents, right? Errol Spence Jr. had to fight the Kell Brooks, had to fight the Mikey Garcias, he had to fight the Danny Garcias and the Udanis Ugas. These are all fighters that Bud Crawford avoided, right? That's something that people don't talk about. All they talk about when they talk about Bud is, the different opponents that he faces, but they don't talk about the quality of opponents they are, right? So, with Errol Spence Jr., fundamental style, it means he can create openings and opportunities and he can create his own angles within the framework of a basic boxing technique. And he don't get any, he don't get any accolades for just being a pragmatic boxer, that fight in a realistic way to get the job done, right? He goes head to head. He likes to go head to head. And the frustration comes from, using a basic fundamental style is to minimize your mistakes in the ring. That's why you use basic boxing techniques to protect yourself for defense and transition into offense, right? So you can make adjustments, out of that to minimize, any mistakes that you may have. And yes, Errol Spence Jr. do get hit, but all boxers get hit, especially when you're a pressure fighter and or you use a pressure style, to make the fight. You're going to get hit because you're crossing the line while the other fighter is countering. He's waiting for you to make overcommit, make mistakes, so he can take advantage of any openings, right? So it's just kind of like sad the way boxing fans try to look at Errol Spence Jr.'s skill set. But Breadman said a good example of Errol Spence Jr. like when he beat like when Errol Spence Jr. beat Mikey Garcia, right? He just took a half a step back and he used his jab to break Mikey Garcia down. That's a simple way of beating Mikey Garcia or outboxing Mikey Garcia, right? And he just used that all night long, putting his combination when Mikey Garcia would get against the ropes. He would put his combinations together, and it made Mikey Garcia look like a average fighter, right? He went to just into defense mode, and a lot of fighters go into defense mode when fighting Errol Spence Jr., right? So Shawn Porter, he had to size up Errol Spence Jr. He had to get in the ring with Errol Spence Jr. So he knows that he's special behind that fundamental basic boxing style that he got. And he's really still salty, so he gonna call a man, dumb or some shit for not being able to pick up on some a simple counter that he threw in the fight. But you lost that fight, dude. You know what I'm saying? He took your belt. So, he's using these interviews to try to act like he's not salty, but a lot of Errol Spence Jr. opponents can't give him credit without, throwing salt on him. They never do that with Bud Crawford. Because Bud Crawford never fought anybody significant. Up at 147. He took their belt. He took Kell Brook belt, who also alluded to Errol Spence Jr. getting frustrated in the ring, right? But like I said, in that fight, they gave Kell Brook all the breaks. He got to take at least 2 breaks during that damn fight to catch his breath when he was almost about to get knocked out. See, you got to watch the fights to know what you're looking at and what these people, where they coming from and what they're saying, right? And Pool kind of boxing, we on top of it, right? So this is just the first video of this damn interview because there was a lot of shit in this video that I didn't agree with, okay? You know what I'm saying? And Breadman, he told me he don't have a pick. But he got a pick by the way he framed his analysis, though. But this has been Pool Kind of Boxing. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to my channel for more hardcore boxing content. Peace.